All right, what's up everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we got a bit of news on The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It does look like previews will be going live this Wednesday at 3 p.m. CET. That is April 26th. Wednesday, 3 p.m. CET. Now that is going to be 6 a.m. PT and 9 a.m. Eastern time. That will be 8 a.m. Central. So make sure you plug it in to your time converters no matter where you live on planet Earth, and you will be able to get the time that previews will be dropping. Now, I will be covering the previews as well early in the morning, so expect to see either a live stream that early or expect to see more of just a video. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to cover it, but I will be giving you guys coverage that day in the morning when it drops. So I think a live stream might be good so we can all kind of go over the preview ourselves and kind of see what's happening here. But let's get into the topic and exactly what's going to be happening and then why we can kind of confirm or, at least lead a bit more information on why this is going to happen. So apparently on Reddit, there was a post saying a group of Italian journalists and content creators that are all huge fans of Zelda went to Frankfurt, where the headquarters of Nintendo Europe is. When groups of people go to Frankfurt, it means big stuff. And Francesco Fossati, and I probably said that wrong, a well-known Italian journalist, just said that on Wednesday at 3 p.m. CET, there will be something big about, quote, the most awaited game of May. Plus, basically all of them said the same, making puns with tears and sky. We all know what that is. Now, obviously, they're talking about The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. There's no if, ands, or buts about this, guys. It's The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's going to be over there, Nintendo of Europe headquarters. This isn't a review code situation, which we will get to in just a bit, because I already have people asking me on Twitter, well, are there going to be reviews that day? No, there will not be. It's in-person event, Nintendo of Europe, where they're going over there to check out the game. Now, I do want to talk about this because Tom Henderson, who's over at Insider Gaming, he's got a lot of the inside scoops on stuff that's going out. He did confirm that that is happening as well. Just said he can confirm that that is a thing. So it looks like it's going to be happening. We're having people report on it all across Twitter as well. So it definitely looks like that is going to be happening. Now let's talk a little bit more about what's going to be at this preview event so we can understand, right? Some people are very conscious of spoilers. I'm very conscious of spoilers. I do not want to spoil anything, and I can guarantee you right now, especially Nintendo of Europe does not want to spoil a single thing when it comes to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So expect them to probably start out right where Mr. Alnuma was at that beginning area, somewhere like that, something that we've seen or something very basic at the beginning of the game to where it's not going to show off anything that can be considered a spoiler. They're probably going to get access to a number of the beginning tools in the game, like the Ultra Hand and like maybe even the Fuse ability, being able to fight some construct enemies, being able to fight some slimes. Maybe there is a bigger enemy or so, or a new enemy for them to fight, but I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to be too crazy or reveal the actual how you beat the enemy or how you beat the boss. I don't think there's going to be any story stuff at this at all. So I think it's going to be very similar to the demo for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild back at E3 2016, where essentially it was just the Great Plateau right there. It was just the beginning. You got to mess around a little bit, and that was that. There wasn't really anything after that. So I think that that's really what's going to be happening here. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom obviously has a massive amount of hype behind it. I'm working on a video, which you guys might get later today, probably tomorrow though, probably tomorrow. But I'm working on this video where the hype is boiling over so much to the point to where it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand in terms of what this game is doing that it's never really done before with any other Nintendo system. So I think that this preview is going to be highly anticipated. There's going to be a lot of people looking forward to this. So I'll probably do live stream coverage of it in the morning. We can kind of get up all together, wake up, talk about the game, discuss different things. We can go back and forth. If you guys disagree with some of my videos where I've talked about The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, we can have a nice little discussion about a variety of different things with this game. And of course, all talk as fans of The Legend of Zelda and just big, fans of what is going on in this game, because I discussed it in my previous video. I talked about why The Legend of Zelda is so important and what it does for the industry and what it's been doing when it comes to this game. I feel that it's super innovative. There's a lot of things to discuss, but at the same time, the part of what makes Breath of the Wild, at least originally, and then what makes this sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, so interesting is the aura of discovery, the aura of finding something new, the aura of being able to explore. That is at the heart and soul of The Legend of Zelda. Whether you're a fan of the old school Legend of Zelda, the OG, which I kind of am, the original Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, I'm a huge fan of those games, or you're a fan of the old new modern age, which was Ocarina of Time and up, that new structure of elaborate dungeons and exploration there. But no matter what Zelda game you're playing, no matter what era you come from, when it comes to The Legend of Zelda, exploration was always part of that. The sense of discovery, the sense of finding out something new, the sense of going into somewhere unexplored, uncharted, that's always been at the heart of The Legend of Zelda. And that's why this game means so much to so many people, and this franchise means so much to so many people, because that heart of exploration is always going to be there. So I can literally sit down and talk about this game with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom all day and night. Obviously, we have tons of videos on the channel, but after looking through the comments and seeing all of you guys' discussions on The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, on Breath of the Wild, on previous Zelda games, it honestly warms my heart to see so many people excited about this game and so many people looking forward to the next info drop or looking forward to the next thing about this. It really is that great. So for this video, I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to be going through the comment section and we're going to talk about it, especially in the next upcoming live stream that we have for the preview drop here. What is your favorite Legend of Zelda game and why? And I know it's an age-old question at this point. We've been answering this question for so many years, but I think that now at this point, with the peak or the apex, going to that apex of the hype of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I think now would be a great time for everybody civilly to be able to talk about that and discuss what their favorite is. So for those that are new to this channel, because we have hundreds, thousands of new subscribers within the past few months here, especially starting at the top of the year, I do want to ask, what's your favorite Zelda and why? And I'll go first real quick here, guys. And once again, this is a great discussion. I love this discussion. For me, it was always The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. That was like my favorite Legend of Zelda game, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. But that was before The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild came out. That ended up becoming my favorite Zelda game. I was always a huge fan of Ocarina of Time. Those were always like my top three, was Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker. But then when Breath of the Wild came out, it kind of took it. But I always loved Link to the Past. I always loved the original Legend of Zelda. Those games got me into gaming. I felt like there was nothing else like the original Legend of Zelda. It seemed like it was open world before open world. Same thing with Link to the Past, open world before open world, where you can just kind of go about, do anything. You have these huge different worlds, these underground labyrinths, this magic that you can take a hold of, fighting against enemies in the water, all sorts of crazy stuff would just happen in these games. And it really put me in a mood of just, I can do anything, or I can explore anywhere in here. I can be a hero, save the princess, whatever I need to do, right? So it was just such a cool feeling originally back in the day. But to me, Wind Waker really brought back that sense of exploration and discovery that I feel that I had that in Ocarina of Time and I had that in Majora's Mask and other games. But I feel that Wind Waker really blew it up to the point where you have this big old huge ocean, you sail the seas, you kind of go at your own pace and do what you want and find different stuff. So to me, it kind of chartered that whole spirit, kind of really just embodied that spirit of the original Legend of Zelda and also of Link to the Past, and kind of put it in a completely different way. But to me, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild surpassed that because it felt like the original Legend of Zelda game. It really did, and heck, it pretty much was, right? They prototyped it from the beginning with the original Legend of Zelda in mind. So they really kind of brought that original Legend of Zelda game and brought it to like the new sense in terms of what that would be interpretation in modern hardware. And I think that they did a phenomenal job, because Breath of the Wild really made me forget about everything else, all the bad stuff that was happening, because there was a lot of bad stuff happening in my life around that time, and really made me just say, wow, this game really is changing everything. And on top of that, it gave me the confidence and motivation to know that I can do YouTube. I can talk about Nintendo and do this and be consistent. And really, this system is going to go places. Sometimes, especially coming off the Wii U, you get discouraged because of what people said about your content and everything. But I felt that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild propped up the Nintendo Switch and led to the good vibes that made me say, I need to pursue this. Talking about Zelda, talking about Nintendo Switch games, this system is going to do way better. So I kind of credit it for that as well. Breath of the Wild was a monumental game in my life. It really helped out at a time when I was down, and it also helped jumpstart things here on PlayerEssence. So I'm really grateful for that, and it's part of the reason why it's my favorite game. But really, the game itself, it really holds its own. It stands on its own feet. That the game is just awesome. The exploration and the different physics and the mechanics and the everything that you can do in the game. The fact that you had so much freedom. So Breath of the Wild for me, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have different things when it comes to what you love the most, whether it's Ocarina of Time, or whether it's Majora's Mask, or some of you guys even Twilight Princess, or maybe some of the more obscure games like Minish Cap or the Oracle of Ages and Seasons games. So you guys let me know in the comment section what's your favorite, and what do you guys think about this preview here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you check out some of my previous Legend of Zelda content on the channel. It'll be linked right here for you guys on screen. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you for the next one. Peace.